Okay guys, today's video is going to be on upgrading the BK Radio M150s to have GPS capability. The used to be a purchase-only option that you had to pay extra for. The GPS modules themselves were pre-installed in the radios, but it was a software option to get them enabled. Well, with the latest firmware upgrade, 5.7.12, that's no longer a priced out option. It comes free now, so it's just a matter of upgrading the firmware and then getting a GPS antenna, and then you can start using it. So I'm going to go over how to do that, and how to do the basic use of it. And as an introduction, the BK actually has a software product called Locate One that can be hooked up to the radio that'll actually import the GPS data and map it on a mapping software program. But I'm not going to go into that in this video. It's just going to be strictly the mobile operation. So like I said, you start with the radio, and you know when you finally get the option working, because you now get a new symbol up here of a satellite. If you see this the satellite signal indicator blinking, it means it doesn't have a lock. Either doesn't have an antenna on it, or it's a bad antenna or bad location. But when it stops blinking and it's solid, that means it's got a good GPS lock. So anyway, to get started with, let's go into the flashing software for the firmware, and this is what you're going to be looking for is the Lightning 227, and you're going to want to make sure you get a 5712 file for it. And if it has the remote control head, make sure you do that as well at the same time, because if there's a big enough difference, they won't work together. But anyway, once you get the firmware flashed, then it's just a matter of going into the RES software and turn on a few features. To start off, here in the GPS General, you're going to turn your mode selection to on, and then your two choices are peer-to-peer and base station relay. The base station relay was, like I was saying before, where you can actually use the Ethernet package, the base station Ethernet package, and proprietary program that BK has to map it. Or the peer-to-peer is when you're doing mobile to mobile, and that's what I'm going to be going over. So I have on this one, I have the peer-to-peer selected, and over on my buttons, I got my orange button set as a GPS, and what that does, that doesn't bring up the menu. It sends a single transmission to whatever you have down here in your preloaded in your GPS Tier 1 options. The destination ID is your pre-loaded unit ID, and I'll show you that. Over here in the system, you have your unit ID alias list. So this is where it's getting that number from to know which individual P25 address to send it to. Let me go back over here. But the so you have the it turned on, and we're going to do peer-to-peer. So the GPS trigger conditions, that's basically going to refer to when you're on the base station relay mode, to where you're only going to be sending your GPS coordinates to base station. It's not going to be to an individual unit, one of your peers. It's going to be to this destination ID here. So so when you hit peer-to-peer, none of these things take effect. It's only for the other one that you have that. Now the other thing is in the make sure in your menu section that you bring GPS into your menu so that you can get to it. Now the the ability to be able to see the coordinates, and this other feature which is really cool, which is over here. I'm going to have it to where on the instead of having that, we're going to have GPS peer coordinates, and then we're going to have GPS peer location. And I'll show on the demo here when I do the transmit. You'll see the coordinates come up here on the top line, and then below, it's really cool if you have if the other unit has GPS hooked up and is working, then it figures out the distance between the two and the direction. So the two that I have here are right next to each other, so it always goes between 1 meter, 0 meters, and some random direction. But if they were actually separated, it'll show you the distance, 100 meters at 316 degrees. So it's a really super cool feature to have for that, and it's continuously updated every transmission. So every time you transmit, it shows your new location and bearing. So that's very helpful to have, and that's about it as far as the programming is concerned. Now let me come back over here to camera, and I'll do a couple demos here. First is I want to show it, if I come up into the menu, I can go into the GPS, and I got several things up here. I can turn it on and off if that was selectable. Information. This is going to give you your current coordinates there, and then this is where you get into your transmit, and you can have it go to the default, or you can have that call list, and you can build that as much as you want. And then the last receive peer info. This will show you the coordinates of whoever the last person was that called you. So anyway, let me go out of it, and the bottom radio is going to be my transmit radio here, and that's what's going to be sending. It's going to be aiming its transmissions to the top radio here, and you'll see every time I key up, it'll give me my my coordinates, my how far away and my bearing, and then also my unit ID and my talk group ID. So let me give you a demonstration. Testing I took it for. And you see I'm 0 meters away, and it shows my lat and long on the output. And then and then for my, if I do the next transmission, once again, it gives me a real live updated coordinates and bearing and distance. So yeah, very, very cool features with that, and it's just a matter of getting the antennas installed, which is pretty easy. So all right, and I'll leave links to that, getting the antenna, and the anything else I can think of. But all right, well there you go, GPS for M150s. Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.